maths. So today we discuss here are the list of the lesson. So the first lesson today we discuss that is the properties of multiplication. Distributive property, find the missing factors, multiply using the distributive property, estimate the products, multiply by one digit numbers. So today we discuss here are the list of the lesson. So the first lesson today we discuss that is the properties of multiplication. Distributive property, find the missing factors, multiply using the distributive property. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudent.com. You have to log in by using the email and the passwords that are provided by the administrator. Go to the subject app, select maths from there. Scroll down to the grade 4, view all chapters. Here are the list of the chapters. So we are on the chapter multiplication. Click over there and then the lesson. Today we discuss that is the properties of multiplication. Let's start. So first of all, the zero property of multiplication. Okay, what is the zero property of multiplication mean? I'm going to write it down here as well. Okay, first of all, the zero property of multiplication. So what is basically the zero property of multiplication? It means that any number that is multiplied with the zero, then you get the answer zero. For example, 100 times 0, 60 times 0. So you get the answer 0. Any bigger number or any smaller number. Let's suppose I'm going to use it 4. 4 times 0, that is a 0. So any number which is multiplied with the 0, then you get the answer 0. So this property is called the zero property of multiplication. This is the first property. Okay. For example, I'm going to multiply 4 times 0. So the answer is 0. This is a smaller number. These are the bigger number. Like I'm going to write it down here 10,000 times 0. So the answer is also 0. Any number which is multiplied with the 0, then you get the answer 0. Okay. This is the first property. Now the second property is distributive property. What is the distributive property called? Like for example, so distributive property. What is the distributive property basically? Distributive properties, like for example, here is 7. This is multiplied with some number. Any number which is in the form of bracket, it sometimes they are adding, sometimes they are subtracting. Here they are adding, subtracting. Okay. So how can we write it down? We simply write it down 7 times 2. Then the middle sign here, 7 times 3. Okay. Separately, 7 multiply with the 2, 7 multiply with the 3. Here 7 multiply with the 2, here 7 multiply with the 3. Separately we are multiplying here. Okay, this is called the distributive property. All right, for example, if I'm going to write it here, you tell me guys. 6 times 3 minus 7. How can we write it down? So we are going to write it down like this way. 6 times 3. First of all, multiply 6 times 3. Here is the multiplication sign. 6 times 3 and then 6 times 7. Okay, 6 is multiplied with the 3, 6 is multiplied with the 7. And now which sign we put it in the middle? In the middle, I'm going to put it the negative sign, the sign which is in the middle of here. Okay, this is the way that we do it. This is called the distributive property. Here is the distributive property and it is like this way. All right. So first property is zero property of multiplication, then distributive property. Now the next we discuss Commutative. What? Sorry, what is the commutative property? So, what is the commutative property? This commutative property is basically like this way. For example, 2 times 3, then you shift the position 3 times 2. Answer would be same in both sides. Okay? For example, I'm going to write it down here 7 times 10. So, what is the commutative property of that? 10 times 7. 7 is in first place, now 7 is in second place. It's just shift these two numbers. Okay? Just only shifting the numbers. I'm just going to shift the number 1. That is example 2. What comes next? Then the next property is, okay, I think only these three properties are discussed here. Okay. What is the property of identity? Identity is on always 1. What is the multiplicative identity? This is 1. If they are saying that multiplicative identity, so you write it down 1. How? For example, any number which is multiplied with the 1, then you get the answer of that number. For example, 4 times 1 is 4. 10 times 1 is 10. So this one is called the identity. Okay? Because it get the same answer. So we can say that this is called the identity. And what is basic zero property of multiplication? That would be 0. And what is the identity property of multiplication? This is 1. Now here is the commutative property. This is the distributive property. Let's discuss the associative property. Okay? Associative property. So what is the associative property? Associative property. This is the fifth one. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth. Okay. Now the associative property is you are going to write it down the digits. Look, 2, 4, 6. Same thing like in this side, 2, 4, and 6. They are multiply. All the digits are multiply because this is multiplicative property, so multiply. First you put the bracket on first two digits, then you put the bracket on last two digits. This is multiplication sign as it is. Understand? First you are going to put the basically bracket on first two digits, then you put the bracket on the last two digits. That's it. This is called the associative property. Now I'm going to repeat all the properties again. Here I'm going to write it down one by one, okay? First of all, what is the zero property of multiplication? Here I'm going to write all the numbers, then we are going to write down the property's name, okay? For example, we just name it then in the end, okay? You tell me the names. Okay, here what is the first property called? 7 times 9, 9 times 7. These are just shifting the position. This is commutative. Okay. What is the second property called? This is called distributive. What is third property called? 3 times 4 times 5, 3 times 4 times 5. Just putting the bracket first two digit, now putting the bracket last two digit. This is called associative. What is this called? Any number that is multiplied with the 0, then you get the answer 0. This is zero property of multiplication. Now 4 times 1 is 4. What is this property called? This is called identity. These are all the properties that we discussed today. Okay, now let's discuss the test questions. So, which equation shows the associative property of multiplication? What is the associative property? First, look at here. This is called the associative property. First, you put the bracket of first two digit, then you put the bracket of last two digit. All the numbers are same. It should be three digits. Check it out. Which one has three digits? Second one, 9 times 6 times 3. Putting the bracket of first two digit, then 9 times 6 times 3, putting the bracket of last two digits. Okay, so this is called the associative property. Now, which property of multiplication is shown here? Check it out. Zero property or distributive property? First of all, look at here the distributive property. Any number which is outside multiply with the inside of the bracket, it means that they are adding or subtracting. Then you single multiply both the digits and then putting the sign within the both of it. So here is the same thing. 0 is multiplied with 9 minus 8. Then 0 minus 0 times 9, then minus 0 times 8. This is one kind of distributive property. Okay, it's not zero property, because zero property is just multiplying something is 0, then you get the answer 0. Okay, now guys, you tell me which equation shows the zero property of multiplication. Which one shows the identity and which one shows the zero property? One is shown the identity here and one is shows the basically the zero property. So check it out and then tell me. So 5 times 1 is 5 times 1 here. This is one is called identity. It's not zero property. Okay, any number which is multiplied with the 0, then you get the answer 0. So that is your zero property. Zero property is very easy according to their name. Any number which is multiplied with the 0, then that is 0. Any number which is multiplied with the 1, then you get the answer that number. This is called identity. Hope you guys understand this lesson. So practice this lesson, okay? And if you still need any help, please just write it down on your notebook. I already put it down here. Zero property of multiplication, I already explained it. Distributive property, commutative property, identity, associative property. Five properties are given here. Okay. All right. Now, distributive property, find the missing factor. Distributive property, find the missing factor. So here, what is the distributive property? And find the missing factor. 5 times 1 plus 5 times 5. So, and the other side there is a missing place and here is a 6. So what does it mean? It means that which number you are going to put it out here. Look at here. First we close that bracket, okay? You always close the bracket. They are saying that 5 times 1 plus 5 times 5. This is one kind of distributive property. 5 times 1, 5 times 5. So you put 5 times outside, then 1 plus 5 inside of it. Because 1 5 and this 5 is coming outside. Okay? This 1 and this 5 is putting inside of the bracket. Now 5, which write it down here, this one is 5. Okay, if I'm going to write it down here, 7 times 2 plus 7 times 7. And here is 9. Now tell me which number is coming outside, which number is inside of the brackets. This is 7, first digit outside. Second both digits inside of the bracket with the plus sign. Why? Because here is plus sign. 7 times 2 plus 7 is 9. 9 is already given. What is missing place? That is 7. Okay. Now I'm going to write it down again. 3 times 4 plus 3 times 6. Then 3 is given. Which is the what is the missing place? Tell me. First digit is 3 coming outside. Both the second digit adding, putting here. Now 3 times 4 plus 6 is 10. It means that here you put 10. Otherwise you put both these number 4 plus 6. Okay. Now let's do the questions from here. Let's do the test questions. 4 times 3, 4 times 2. 4 times 3 plus 4 times 2. That is 4, which is coming outside. Times as it is. What are the two other digits? 3 and 2 and adding. 4 times 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 is already given. So which digit you put it out here? 4. So we go with the 4. Okay. Now 5 times 2, 5 times 3. 5 times 2 plus 5 times 3, that is equals to times 5 is given. Now tell me what is the first digit both of it? That is 5. Putting outside. What are the two others? 2 plus 3. You also add the bracket digits. Okay, 2 plus 3 is 5. 1 5 is already given. The other answer is 5. So you put it down here 5. So the missing one is 5. Okay, now you guys tell me the answer of this one. Practice it and then just tell me. Do it everyone and then tell me. In this side there are 4 digits, but on the other side it's 3 digits. So which digit you put it down here? 5 is given, 3 is given, 2 is missing from one side, but other side 2 is written there. So tell me what is the answer of this one? Everyone tell me in the chat. That is, so it is 5 times 3 plus 5 times 2. Okay, so what is common here? 5 is outside. Now 3 plus 2. This is 3, this is 2. I'm saying you are putting the first digit outside, then multiply, then these two are in the bracket. If there is no in bracket here, so you put it down the next digit. Okay, so that is 2. All right, 4 times 3, 4 times 2. How to do it this one? 4 times 3 plus 4 times 2. Now you guys tell me how to do this one. Both 4 are same, so I'm putting it 4 here, times 3 plus 2 inside of the bracket. 3 plus 2 is 5. Okay, 4 is given here, 5 is missing, so we put it 5. So hope you guys understand this lesson as well. So let's discuss the next lesson. Okay, solve the rest of the test questions by yourself. Multiplying using the distributive property. Use the distributive property of multiplication to find 7 times 13. Okay, 7 times 13. Now what we do? We are using the distributive property. You break down the second digit. 7 as it is, times as it is. 13 is break into two digits. Maybe you put 15 minus 2, it also 13. Maybe you put 10 plus 3, maybe you put 12 plus 1, any kind of number that you are going to put. I'm just going to put it out here, 10 plus 3. Okay, now we are using from this to this. Now we are moving back from that to that. Okay, now multiply separately 7 times 13 plus 7 times 3. That's it. This is the distributive property. And they also gave you the hint. Okay, and now also solve it. They are saying that also solve it. 7 times 13 is 91 times 21, then this. Sorry, it's 3 here. 7 times 10 and 7 times 3. 7 times 10, that is 70. So that is 91. Okay, now let's discuss the next. For example, they gave us 6 times 11. 6 times 11, and they gave you the hint. So 6 as it is, times and plus 1. Multiply separately 6 times 10 plus 6 times 1. Multiply 6 times 10 is 60. 6 times 1 is 6. The answer is 66. Okay, let's discuss the next. 8 times 12, and they gave you the hint 2 plus 10. 8 times 12. And now 8 times 10 plus 2. I'm just going to split the 12 into 10 plus 2. Now 8 times 10 plus 8 times 2. Separately 8 multiplied with 10, then 8 multiplied with 2, putting the plus sign between of it. Now 8 times 10 is 80 and 8 times 2 is 16. Now add it, 96. And if you just multiply from the start, the answer is also 96. Now let's discuss the test questions, okay? Use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 12. Let's do it. So here 6 times 12, and 12 is splitting down to the 10 plus 2. Now 6 times 10 plus 6 times 2. So what is the answer? 60 plus 12, that is 72. Okay, 12 is basically split into two digits, 10 plus 2. And now 6 is multiplied first of all with the 10, then 6 is multiplied with the 2. Now separately multiplying and then just adding it up. When we are going to adding it up, then it becomes the 72 in both combined. Okay, now let's discuss the next. If I'm going to write it, yeah, what is the answer? It's 72. Use the distributive property of multiplication to find 6 times 14. 6 times 14, and they also gave you the hint like 4 plus 10. Okay, they just gave us here 4 plus 10. Now multiply 6 with 4, then 6 with 10. 6 times 4 plus 6 times 10. 6 times 4 is 24. 6 times 10 is 60. Now what is the answer? 84. Let's see. This is the right answer. Now 6 times 13. 6 times 13, and they gave us the hint 6 times 10 plus 3. Now separately multiply first of all 6 with 10, then 6 with 3. What is the sign in both of it? That is a plus sign, which is 60, which is 18, and then 78 is your answer. Okay, all right. Now you discuss the rest of the test questions by yourself. Okay, let's discuss the last lesson of the day. Estimate the products multiplied by one digit number. Let's do it. Okay, now estimate the products, round the second factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. First of all, we are going to round the numbers nearest 10. It means that second digit we are going to round by checking the first digit. Okay, if they are saying that 100, then we are checking the second digit and then round the third one. But they are saying that 10th place digit, it means that, for example, if I'm going to write it here, 33, this is ones place, this is tens place. We're going to round out by using, by checking the first digit. If this digit is less than 5, so we are going to round down. If this digit is greater than 5, then we are going to round up. Like for example, this is 33 here. Now look at here. So we just round it down. So 33 can be round to the 30. If it's greater than 33 can be round to the 40. Okay. If it's like maybe 36, 37, because these are all 6 and 7 are greater than 5. So we are going to round up like in case. But now in this case it says less than 5. That first digit is less than 5, so it can be round down. Okay. For example, if I'm going to write it down here, mm, 78 times 4. First of all, we are going to round 78. So 78 can be round to the, this 8 is greater than 5. So this can be round up. So 78 can be round to the 80. So 80 times 4. Now we multiply 80 times 4. Okay. Let's do the multiplication. Do you know the tables? Do you all basically first, before starting the multiplication, you all memorize the tables? Okay, table of 2, table of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. These tables are very important. You guys make sure before starting the multiplication you guys practice and remember the tables. Okay, 4 times 0 is 0. Now 4 times 8 is, what is the answer of 4 times 8? Everyone tell me in the chat please. Everyone tell me in the chat please. 4 times 8 is, 4 times 8 is 32. So we putting it out here, 32. And here is the answer, okay? Alright, now you guys tell me the answer of this one. 5 times 92. Tell me first of all, 92 can be round up or round down? 5 times 92, it can be round up or it can be round down. It can be round down because it's 92. 2 here. 2 is less than 5, so that can be round to the 90. Okay. Now 90 times 5. Tell me what is the answer of 90 times 5? Everyone solve it please and then tell me the answer. First of all, multiply 5 with 0 and then 5 with 9. 5 times 0 is 0 and 9 times 5 is, what is the answer of 5 times 9? This is the table. 5 times 9 is 45. Okay, so you just put it out here, 45. That's it. Now let's discuss the test questions. Estimate the product, round the first factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. The product is approximately 58 times 9. 58 times 9. First of all, you guys tell me 58 can be round up or round down. It can be changed into 50 or it can be changed into 60. 8 is greater than 5, so it can be round up. It's not rounding down, okay? So 58 times 9 is, 58 can be round up, so it can be round to the 60. Okay? So 60 times 9. 9 times 0 is 0. 9 times 6 is, what is the answer of 9 times 6? Everyone tell me in the chat. It can be round up or round down. Yes, it can be round up. We already wrote it here. Now tell me 9 times 6 is? 9 times 6 is 54, okay? That is 540. Let's see, is there any option? Yes, it's here. So here is the right answer. 7 times 84. So 84 times 7. First of all, check it out. How can we round 84? It's rounding up or rounding down? Think about it, everyone. Just checking the first digit, not second digit. If first digit is less than 5, so round down. First digit is greater than 5, then round up. This is 84. 4 is less than 5, so it can be round down. So 84 can be changed into, 84 can be changed into 80. Now 80 times 7. So I'm going to write it down here. 80 times 7. 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 8 is, what is the answer of 7 times 8? Everyone tell me please. 7 times 8 is 56. Okay. So you guys make sure to practice the tables and memorize the tables basically. All the tables, okay? Table of 2 to 9. Table 2 to 9 table, okay? Now 59 times 7. So 59 times 7 is, 59 can be round to 60. Good. And 60 times 7 is, because look at here, 9 is greater than 5, okay? So it can be round up. This is 59 times 7. 59 can be round to the 60. 60 times 7. So what is the answer of 60 times 7? 7 times 0 is 0. 7 times 6 is 42. Okay, so 4 20. Let's see. This is the right answer. Hope you guys understand this lesson as well. So today we discuss grade 4 maths. The chapter name today we discuss that is the multiplication, and here are the list of the lesson, which is properties of multiplication, distributive property, find the missing factor, multiply using the distributive property, estimate the products, multiply by one digits. So you guys make sure before starting the next session to practice all these chapter and all these lesson, and if you still need any help in any of the question, then you can contact tutors by using this live chat button that is available on A plus website. Okay, putting your department, in which department you need help with math help, and then putting your name and then just send. In this way you directly contact with the tutors. So hope you guys understand all the lessons. So have a great day, you all. See you in the next session. Bye.